Welcome to episode 90 of the Rash Challenges podcast. I am Dave Lewis. That is proud Papa Eric Neal over there. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm feeling it. Aiden's, Grove City U13 team won their tournament this weekend. It caused me to not be able to watch live football.
You watch no live games. You're a good dad.
It's just brutal on that, but the payoff was huge. I got to tell you, man.
He scored a brace. Did he score a brace?
Yeah, so they won their first game, which was the toughest game of the tournament, 2-1. He played really well. Didn't get a goal or an assist. The next game they played the worst team in our group and demolished them 5-0. He got a goal. It was just goals pouring in all over the place.
Yeah, I can tell you're proud. You're proud.
Oh yeah, but then the last game, if we win, we win the trophy, and we won 2-0. He scored both. First one was great because they have a goalie, Ethan, on their team that has been taking goalie training. We partner with Southampton Academy here in the United States.
Nice.
So,
legit.
SFA Academy. And so he's been going to their goalie training. And let me tell you, like, from the beginning of the season to now, he looks like a Premier League goalie, the way he gets down for the saves and everything. I mean, God, the kid just dominated. I think we gave up 1 goal in 3 matches because of this guy. But the first goal, he gets the ball, and Aiden had been getting behind their back line because he's got tons of pace. But hadn't been able to put it together, and you hear the keeper just yell. He's like, "Aiden, go!" And he boots the long ball, and he just dusts their back line. Yeah. Goes one-on-one with the goalie and shoots. Goalie makes an amazing save, pops back to him, and he finishes with his left. Put the rebound in with his left, which he's not big on using his left, so that was beautiful.
Nice.
It was still nervy. We were going, and then he gets another through ball at the end. Full speed one-on-one with the goalie. The goalie came out. He just touched it past him. Goalie's on skates, falls down, and then brought it back and just finished it in. So I couldn't be happier, man. It was beautiful.
Good job, Aiden, man. You made your daddy proud. You're doing things that Eric Neal never did.
I was never that good.
Could he beat you in a foot race yet? Be honest, Eric. I think I've seen you walk lately. It's not good.
No, here's the problem. I'm not sure, so I'm not trying to find out. Last time we raced, I still dusted him.
You still beat him. Beat him.
So I'm like, maybe I just live off that.
I've seen you kind of walk with your bad heels, your bad knees. I might put my, you know what? For another 6 months, I might put it on you because I know you. You'll find a way. But in about 6 months, I think Aiden will take you. I'll put my money on him.
You might be right. So I'll tell you this, though. I was having one of my nights where I was playing FIFA. I wanted to break everything. This is probably like early summer, so not that long ago. And I was like, I got to find a more positive way to get this frustration out because you chuck in the Xbox, the TV, the controller, everything out Aiden's window into the street. It's not going to get me anywhere. I'll probably be divorced again. I don't need all that. So I go, I'm just going to go for a run. So I threw on my shoes. It's like 10 o'clock at night. The neighborhood's, completely down. It's cooled off to a nice level. And I hop out the front door and I just start going.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hadn't measured it out, but I went. And I just went as hard as I could and got back to the house, and I was gassed, man. I was dying. It was brutal, and I was sore for like 3 days after. But
it's no good, man. Our days are done.
No, while I was in it, I was killing it, and then I went the next day. It was 1.1 miles, and I'm thinking, I bet it was under 7 minutes. I'm almost positive. I was somewhere. Probably mid-6s, which is, you know what, decent.
I want to see proof of that.
Look,
under 7 minutes.
I told you, I'm willing for any of our friends to put together Old Guy Challenge. We show up to the high school track, and we just see who can run the fastest mile.
Let's do our 40-yard dash again.
No, I want to see that time.
All right, let's get to some footy, man. Liverpool. We feel back on track. We're in first. Well, we're in second place, right behind Everton right now, goal differential. But let me talk about this game. Allison is back. Allison. Oh, sorry. He's back. We don't get Van Dijk back, but we get half of the 2 best players on this team back. I have to admit, he almost made a gaffe. Remember when Allison first signed with Liverpool and we were like, oh, my God, this is great. He had a couple shaky moments. He had one close, shaky moment this game as well. But he still looked quality. He's so much better than Adrian, obviously. And I wanted to give you real quick before I get to the game, Eric. I was thinking about this. I wanted to rank my top. I was just going to give my top 10 players on Liverpool most important right now.
Okay.
I'm giving Van Dijk still number 1, Alisson number 2, and I'm convinced that Henderson is number 3. Number 4 is Salah. Salah, Mane, a toss-up. Hold on.
No way.
Yes, Salah, Mane, toss-up, because I think you could put Jota in there and play some things there. And then I'm putting in Robertson, and then I'll give you some other. I don't want to bore people, but the team is so good. But I am putting Henderson number 3 because they're a different team with him in there. Yeah. I just love that man. He's such a great passer. He's Stevie G level. I mean, Stevie G could put a ball on your toe from 50 yards out, and so can Henderson.
I don't think he's anywhere near Stevie G's quality.
No.
He's just as important as Stevie G was.
Is Stevie G a better player? Of course he is. Of course he is. I'm just saying for this team, this style of play. And you know what? Another guy is Gini Wijnaldum. I mean, I'm not going to put him in my top 5, but he's so important. The gap between my top 10, 1 and 10, I would say Van Dijk and Alisson so important. Then you got this next group of Henderson, Mane, Salah, and then you got some really important players. I wouldn't go anywhere near getting rid of Gini Wijnaldum. He's still so good. So let me talk about this game real quick. What do you agree? Would you agree Alisson first or Van Dijk first? Who would you put first?
It has to be Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, right. But Alisson's not that far off. He's not that far off. So look, finally Klopp decides, okay, I have to change its formation. He has to do something. So he actually played a 4-2-3-1 with Salah at the top, and then he had Jota playing. So he had Jota, Mane, Salah, and Firmino, the 4 really aggressive forward players, and I liked it. I liked the way it looked. The problem was Liverpool looked sluggish. They didn't look as slick. It was a little sloppy, their play. So it's not the finished product. If he decides to go to this 4-2-3-1 for a while, I think it's a work in progress. But defensively, it looked a little more solid. I liked it because you had Wijnaldum and Henderson as your 2 in that 4-2-3-1, and I like that 2 defensive guys in there. I mean, Henderson can play that role. Fabinho, what do you think of the penalty? By the way, I thought it was not a penalty on Fabinho.
Okay.
And it was outside the box, by the way. That was outside the box.
No, listen. This is another one of those by the letter of the law things where I've seen way worse than that not given.
Right.
But when they went back and they looked at it, they go, oh, wait, they're looking at penalty. I thought it was outside the box. And then they looked and they said, the line is part of the box. So if you look at it and his foot's on the line and he comes up and kicks him in the foot and it's a foul, then by the letter of the law, it's got to be a penalty. Now, it was soft as hell. I mean, but I don't know, man. Like those are usually the ones that you get, not the ones that go against.
Right. No, we've talked about it like last year. You say that we got all the calls. And I think I saw a stat. This was the first penalty called. I think I might be getting this wrong at Liverpool at home in like 2 years. So your theory might have a little weight, but it's starting to catch up because Salah later in the game has this beautiful goal. And I think it was offside. It was so close. It was so close. But again, that would have gone our way last year, you're saying. So like we talked about earlier, I think it was off air, if they win this championship, you even agreed, this would be more of an accomplishment than last year. No Alisson, no Van Dijk for all year. They're trying to fend off all these other teams. They're not going to play as well as last year. If they win it this year, that's more of a feat. So, look, Jota had a nice header. Finally, Firmino scored a goal at home. He never does that. And it was a solid win. After losing so poorly, getting that draw last time, it felt like a loss. I thought this was a solid win. I feel better about things with the league being down and all these teams all over the place. We're okay for now. We're okay. And by the way, I want you to guess, how many goals does Liverpool have in their history of their club? Take a guess. History. I'm talking FA Cup, everything. How many goals would you guess?
We're looking at like what, like
100.
130 or 40 years?
Right. So
let's say 9,800.
not bad. 9,999.
Oh,
Yeah, not bad.
wow.
But you didn't get it.
Savant.
And then the more impressive thing is if they win against West Ham this weekend, which is no gimme the way West Ham is playing, that'll be 63 games unbeaten at home, which will be a streak, will match their longest streak ever. That's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. Look, this whole league is a mess. I like it because there's such parity. It's kind of fun.
Right.
And we'll see later. We'll talk about Everton a little bit. Everton finally played somebody okay, and Southampton are not bad. They lose. So right. Everton's not great. Villa loses. It's a crazy league.
No, I'm able to enjoy football again when I'm not watching Newcastle because
radio is better, right? Radio is better to watch listen to Newcastle than watching.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I'm telling you, having Liverpool be mortal just like everybody else, where each week it doesn't matter who they're playing, you're not sure if they're gonna win, lose, or draw.
Sheffield United look good. It looked good.
It really makes it more entertaining and not like such misery every single week.
Are these teams like Southampton, Sheffield United actually looked really good against Liverpool? Has everybody come down to them, or are they improved, or they just look better because everybody, like I said, sucks?
Well,
Southampton look good.
No, Southampton are good. Southampton are in 7th place right now.
I think they have 10 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. I think it's one of their best starts ever.
Sheffield is on 1 point.
And they look good.
But like, look, what does that get you?
I know.
1 point. I mean, okay. I'm not anywhere ready to hit the panic button for them. But at some point, when you hit around like the 10 match mark.
Yes.
You need to have won a game, like at least one game, before you really start to get a little bit worried.
Well, how many wins do you have again?
2.
Newcastle, yeah.
We are completely balanced at 2, 2, and 2. And I have to drink 2 beers every 2 minutes to make it through the match.
That was dire. That was dire, man.
Well, I think this is a good transition. Why don't we take it away to someone that knows even more about the misery of Newcastle than I do, our man on the streets of Newcastle, Andrew Wells.
This is Andrew Wells, live from Newcastle, and here's the review of the Wolves game. And like I said last week, I thought we'd actually get a point, given our record, and you could just call me an Nostradamus, because obviously we drew 1-1, but that game, though, I'm finding it hard to actually explain it because it was such a bore fest again. Even though the lineup was actually looking seriously attacking, but obviously people were actually chuffed that we saw our main players and the attacking sense come through. But then you heard Bruce when he was explaining it, and he's basically like, "Well, I had no other option." And we're just like, "So you deliberately play shift? You deliberately played too defensive?" And we're just like, "Fucking hell." Basically, and obviously the game went on, and you just seen it's negative football. It's basically a cure for insomnia, if I'm being 100% honest. I mean, it's absolute. It's like you're not even bothered anymore. I'm struggling to lose faith, really, and even watching the games. That's how bad it's getting for me, and everyone else is kind of similar. Some slightly vary, but I mean, it's just like I keep saying, it's ridiculous. However, though, I will say again, Darlow, brilliant game for how much he's had to face. And he was even glad to see him back in the starting lineup. I mean, even after what happened. So that was absolutely fantastic. Although that goal Wolves scored, I'm not going to doubt him on that because it was a fantastic hit by Jimenez. Everybody said that. Although going into the game, like going in the second half, basically everyone was really, really impressed with Jacob Murphy. And he rightly deserved man of the match. Everybody's saying, I mean, you look at his defensive capabilities he did, you look at his tackling, I mean, especially that free kick. I mean, nobody's seen that coming. I mean, the whip he put on that, absolutely fantastic. I mean, even for a right foot to get around that far, I honestly think that's probably one of the best goals of the season, but it won't be judged like that. But yet again, I mean, people are, and there's other things to talk about, and that is people are getting sick of the pundits over here. I mean, Tim Sherwood basically said, "Oh, we should be happy Bruce is doing this job." I mean, it's like people aren't even It's like not even watching the games. I mean, it's like, oh, they were ninth. This, it's just like, just fuck off, Tim. It's just, clearly not watching it. It's depressive. It's boring and everything. It's just, honestly, even talking about it now is just making us proper sick. I was talking about this shit, and then, so I'll leave that there. But obviously, you get the picture. And then I also need to talk about something that was quite significant in the into this so-called takeover, and that is that Jamie Rubin has actually left his role at QPR, which kind of came as a bit of a shock. But with Nick DeMarco's tweet saying the 30th of October something's happening, it's a bit coincidental he leaves now and everything. And he liked Jamie Rubin's tweets as well, which is a bit awkward. So I tried to ask people about this, and they just went, "No, I'm not speaking about it. I'm sick of hearing about this shit." So, I mean, my view, I'm slightly optimistic, but we've been down this road many a times. So really, I'll leave it at this. Now, if it goes through, great, but given the history, you never know. So I'm not going to say it's 100% happening, get the cans out, until I personally say it myself. So I'll leave it there, and until then, I'll see you all later.
All right, as always, I want to thank Andrew for that report.
Andrew keeps it real. He keeps it real.
No, and he's out there like actually talking to people, which, I mean, this day and age, dangerous.
With a mask.
Right, absolutely. For a whole host of reasons, it's dangerous. You've got COVID, you've got disgruntled Geordies. I mean, it's a war zone out there. Really, what he's saying is how everyone's feeling. They keep doing it, and I've spoken about this on this show before. You have all these pundits who only look at results. So if you look at the standings right now, and you know that like where we usually are in the table,
you're about right.
We're in 14th, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 8 points. -2 goal differential just because of that 4-1 thrashing from United. But I mean, that's about generally where you would find Newcastle under any of the last managers we've had for as long as
you're going to get 10 wins, 17 losses, and 11 draws. Something like that. And you're going to get about 41 points, and you'll stay up, and you'll be miserable. Yeah. We could write the script right now, Eric.
Yeah, really. It's like you don't need to watch anymore. Like, you've seen it all. But
I did, by the way.
Right. No, so the problem is that you've got these pundits who look at the results, who must never have watched a Newcastle match in their life, and they're wondering why, if you go on Twitter, that everyone is abusing the cabbage, and they're completely pissed off all the time. Because they're like, and they actually say things like, you should be thankful you have Steve Bruce. Why are you complaining? Like, first of all, why do people, especially people from the southern part of England, feel like they need to explain how people from the northern part of England should feel all the time? Like, I don't understand how that's a thing. It's like the football version of mansplaining, right? Things to a woman. It's just like you're completely tone deaf. You're out of touch. The reason that people are mad, even though we're getting results, is because it's an absolute shambles to watch every week.
It's unwatchable.
No, it really is. So I did the thing where I turned my phone off, and I'm getting blown up. I even told everyone, look, I'm recording the game because I'm going to my son's championship match.
So you didn't listen to it live. You watched it later?
I didn't listen to it live. I just put it away because it wasn't on the app. It was actually on the TV, so I could record it. And I'm like, I want to go and enjoy this, sit down and enjoy this, have a beer. And
that's where you went wrong. Enjoy it.
That's where I went wrong. And so I was on the high from my son lifting up the trophy, all the good stuff. I sit down, I'm watching it. I had to fight the urge to fast forward it, like, so badly.
80 minutes of defensive. I mean, Almiron, that guy tracked back so much.
Here's my thing. Rafa was very defensive also.
but not like this.
No, the difference is when we got the ball, there was an idea of what you wanted to do with it. Every other team, even the teams in the bottom, like let's see, we've got Fulham,
Burnley,
and Burnley and Sheffield United. Okay, those are the bottom teams. Even those teams who are sitting at 0 or 1 point, when they get the ball, you look and you see that they've been trained and coached and are managed to do something. It's not always pretty, but everyone knows where they're going, what they're doing, and have an idea of what it is. We get the ball, and everyone just kind of looks at each other and is like, I don't know. And St. Maximin runs all over the place and does like 25 step overs. And Almiron, he finally got the play. You know, he's making runs frantically, trying to do something. But there's no idea or cohesion. A couple times we lumped it up to Callum Wilson, and like he maybe had. But,
and he was nobody around him. Nobody.
It's so easy to defend. And that's what bothers you. It's not that we're playing defensive and counterattacking, even though we have players that can play better than that. I mean, give Klopp or give Guardiola or give Arteta even or Ancelotti or any of these quality managers those same group of players, I guarantee you it's a top 10 team. I guarantee you. And it would be much more enjoyable to watch. I don't blame the players. There's a saying in the systems and like improvement world, like what I do for a living.
I have no idea what you do.
Every system, no one does. Every system is perfectly designed to get exactly the results that it gets. Every single system. Do you want to know the evidence of it? Because that's the results you're getting. So that's exactly what it is. So if you look at Newcastle and we're completely defensive, you got no idea going forward. It's just grinding out these ugly, terrible results. And it's just a soul-sucking, joyless nightmare every single week. And every week I still look forward to it because it's my team. I think maybe this week will be different.
It's funny you say that. Obviously, I have no horse in the race here with Newcastle, other than I like to, be able to watch the game, be able to talk to you about it intelligently or somewhat intelligently. I turned it on second half. I was like, I'm not going to kill myself to watch the whole game. So I turned it on after 45 minutes, and I watched till the 80th minute, and, right before the goal happens. I was like, this was an utter waste of time. Sometimes there'd be 7 Wolves defenders around your one offensive player. Yeah. I was like, well, you can't play this way. It's impossible to play. I saw all your offensive players tracking back all the time. I saw no forward thinking, no ingenuity. And there's Bruce kind of going on the sidelines, coaching. What is he saying? Like, get further back?
How's the bacon, did you say?
It's the cabbage, man. And I felt like it was under. And so I have to be honest with you, in the 87th minute, when you were down 1-0, I was like, there's no way. You guys, and then I can't believe you scored. I mean, when you told me you drew, I was like, what?
You didn't see the goal, did you?
No, I didn't see it.
No. So they get a free kick, of course, right at the end, right outside the box.
Like the 89th minute. Yeah.
And you've got Murphy and Almiron lined up. So, Murphy, right footer, Almiron, left footer, kind of deciding, which way we're going to go around the wall, whatever. And Murphy must have been practicing this, but he smashes this shot. And it goes wide outside the wall and bends back in and dips down near post right under the goalie's hand. I mean,
it was that quality. Yeah.
Beautiful. But that's the thing. That's what we do. We ugly it up, and then right at the end, you either get some fluky thing the other team does or a moment of magic, and then you get some undeserved crappy result. How long? People that listen to this show must fast forward the Newcastle section because it is the same damn thing every single week. I don't know.
I'm ready to fast forward now. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough, Eric Neal.
No, the only other thing I'll say that I really appreciated from Wellesley's report is Wellesley, I think, deep down, is the takeover true believer. He says he's waiting and he's gonna hold off until there's proof and he's not falling for it this time. But I think deep down he really, really believes because he's got the reports coming in about like you said about the Ruben, one of the people that was on the QPR board, stepping down, and part of the deal, and that means maybe he's going to commit. And there's a rumor maybe it's the 30th, and or maybe it's going to be by Christmas or whatever. And people keep telling them when they ask, they're just like, don't even bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do it anymore. But that's the only path forward out of this that I see. Or if somehow, I was messaging Wellesley today, and I was like, why can't we just get Jesse Marsh?
Oh,
Can you imagine that?
I feel horrible for him.
No, I wouldn't though, because he has a decent players. It's not the players. Jesse Marsh with those players, I guarantee you top 10. Guaranteed.
Yeah, no, I think so. Wait, who'd you say Rubens is that Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman?
No,
is going to take over Newcastle?
Getting busted in the adult theater, not that one. No.
He'd be a good owner, better than Ashley.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Let's move on. Depressing, man. Do you want to switch teams?
No. You can't switch your team.
You sure?
No,
it might help us out on the show, man.
You said the quote before. Look, I'm paraphrasing here. You can change your car. You can change your job. You can even change your wife.
I know you can't, but boy, man.
Change your football team.
I'd be getting a divorce in this relationship if I were you. You're just like, you're paying child alimony already, and you're not even divorced yet. All right. Let's look at City for a second. I don't even know. They're not even on my – I just want to go over the rest of the Premier League.
Yeah.
What's wrong with City? Or what's right with West Ham? I mean, a draw against City, not bad. Here's the problem. Aguero's not fit. They don't have a proper number 9. They don't have a striker. For some, you can't play Sterling up top. Aguero did play this game, but he didn't look fit at all. And I'll get to something in my get off my lawn with Pep, a little teaser there. But they have no striker. But something else is wrong. De Bruyne played, and he's the linchpin in that team. Didn't look good.
Yeah.
They're not winning this thing. I mean, look, they're going to be in contention because everybody else is a mess. But I don't see it, man.
No, they're up to 5th or 6th if they win their game in hand.
Right.
So, I mean, really, it's not panic time, but the issue isn't where they're at right now because everyone else. Because everyone else in the league is doing so poorly. I mean, they win their game in hand. They're 2 points off of first place, well within striking distance. The problem is they don't look good.
They don't look good.
They don't. Everything that they do, they're still doing it. But I feel like the commitment and the buy-in from the players, it's either just old, the message has gotten old or tired, or I
think they're missing Silva too. He was more important than anybody thought. I mean,
that's not what's doing it.
I know, but it's one thing they're missing. Phil Foden's not him.
No,
good, but
I love Guardiola. He's like probably my favorite manager in the world, but I just feel like it's gone. The romance, the all of it.
We see it in sports all the time. All sports. The cycle is over. The coach's voice isn't being heard anymore. I don't think anybody hates Pep. Like there's times when Jose's been like people can't stand him. I think people will still play for Pep. They love Pep, but I just think it's time. The cycle's over. You're never going to see an Arsene Wenger or Ferguson again, 15, 18 years. Never again.
You know what's different? See, the only time it works is like in American sports where you have somebody that – and it's not even pro sports. It's really like college, university sports. Like Dean Smith at North Carolina.
30 years or something.
Someone that it becomes they are the program. People go there to play for them. But you're also getting new players in every year. People graduate out, new people come in, so it keeps it fresh. In professional sports, it just doesn't work like that. You've got
the coach doesn't have the power. It's a players' league. All these professional leagues are really NBA, the Premier League, and world football. It's all. I mean, the coaches can come and go.
Yeah.
If you're making 200, if you're Mbappe making whatever, or Ronaldo or Messi making this kind of money, they get rid of the coaches.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on, man. I was excited about the Chelsea-Manchester United game.
Oh.
I assumed there were going to be a ton of goals, right? Chelsea's defense sucks. Manchester United sucks. Like a 0-0 draw. It was drab.
That was as hard to watch as the Newcastle match.
Oh, and you know what? Pulisic wasn't at his best, but the best player on Chelsea still.
Yeah.
He was the best player. Havertz had a bad game. He had a 5 out of 10 on that game.
Fat Frank played him in his normal position,
Yeah.
still will not give the guy an entire 90 minutes. I feel like there's something personal there. It's some sort of a dig or something.
Well, we saw Jesse Marsh. You read that last week, right?
Yeah.
That Marsh said that Lampard told him, like, hey, I didn't really rate him much because he was American.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Look, everybody. I look. That's I think a very common sentiment. I wouldn't put that just on Fat Frank, but
I agree. But I like that Marsh said something.
no, I like it too. But no, the thing about that game, you've got all this firepower on both teams, but you also have some teams that have taken some savage beatings.
Oh yeah.
Manchester United had taken the beatdown from Spurs, was 6-1. Chelsea,
Comebacks by other teams.
Yeah, so they've given up, crazy amounts of goals. Being up, what was it, 2-0 and 3-1, and West Ham coming back. So I think both managers, Fat Frank and the PE teacher, the Norwegian PE teacher, they both were like, no matter what, I'm not giving up a shit ton of goals. Like, I don't care if it's pretty. I don't care.
But are you happy as each one of them? You're saying, okay, we didn't give up any goals. We got the clean sheet, but we didn't score.
Okay, let's look. Are they happy? Chelsea, right?
What do they have, 9 points?
Chelsea's in 10th place on 9 points.
Right, but 4 points off the lead. It's not. These positionings aren't real big deal yet. Manchester
United 7 points, but have a game in hand.
Right, so they could be a 10 or 8 or something.
So really, you didn't bury yourself and let.
But they look bad. They look bad when they lose 6-1, and they look bad at 0-0. These teams don't look like they can win it either.
No, even Liverpool, who looks like, I got it this year, I'm running away with it. There's nobody that looks
Southampton.
Like that. I mean, Arsenal. I thought Arsenal had really turned the corner. No, just average.
Real quick, I want your take on the Maguire hold on Azpilicueta. He had him in a headlock. Headlock.
How does VAR and here's the thing, there's holding all the time, but he was
but not a headlock.
No, he was a person jumping for the ball. Yeah. Had him around the arm with one hand and then had him around the neck with the other arm, holding him down and then using him to jump up off the ground. There's never been a more clear penalty. This is what's the crazy thing. You go to Liverpool, the guy's toe is sticking like a half a centimeter over the line. Oh, it's on the line. And they bring in like the Hubble telescope and zoom down to see that his foot's on the line and that someone tapped him with their foot. Penalty. This, you got Maguire all over him. Nothing. They didn't even review it.
Yeah, I
don't know, man.
I don't understand. Look, I mean, like we said, we like VAR. You and I like VAR. It's just the people behind VAR still making mistakes, I think. Yeah. But all right, so Everton are finally found out a little bit. Is this a blip? Is this going to tell you something? Southampton look good. Like I always tell you, Danny Ings is such a good player. I love seeing Everton lose. Me being a Liverpool supporter, I love seeing them lose. I mean, like we said, they came down to earth, Everton. They haven't played a lot of great teams.
We said
Liverpool.
That last week, though. You know what I mean?
They played Liverpool. Southampton are good. They're not great. I don't know. So Everton will be in the mix for top 6, I think. So we'll see about them. They're not winning the league. Let's stop that right now. The big game I was interested in is Leicester-Arsenal.
Yeah.
Leicester wins 1-0. It's a weird result because it shows that Arteta is making progress in that defensively he's really shored them up with the same players, which is a miracle. But they can't score. They cannot score goals. And they should be.
Because he plays that like free-flowing tiki-taka, like beautiful.
You think he's like, I gotta fix the back and then I can worry about the front? Like, what is he thinking, do you think?
I think that
– or it's not his fault. I don't even think it's his fault.
No. I think that there was such a gap between the top teams and the other teams for the past few years, and it was because of the attacking. Yeah. I think people have been studying all of these attacking teams, and they've been figured out. Because, look at even Liverpool. Before, you knew what they were going to do to you, but you couldn't stop it. But now people have figured out, okay, I need to isolate this player. I need to do this. I need to make sure I'm pressuring for this so they can't, switch sides. I think that's what's going on because you look now, nobody is. You have these weird like fluke matches where someone will score 4 or 5 goals, but then all the rest of them are these really tight, like hard to grind out. I think people have just kind of figured out, and it's swung more towards the defenses this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, Liverpool, you're right. I mean, you put 10 guys behind the ball, Liverpool can't break you down. City is better at that. Liverpool are different that way. They can't break you. They have a hard time breaking down teams.
Liverpool invite pressure. Yeah. They want you to attack them because once you do, then they all just, as soon as they win the ball back, everyone opens up to a space and they start like flinging 40-yard passes to each other. And that's the lightning quick counter. But like, you're right. When they get it, they're trying to go side to side and they're like, what the hell do we do with this?
Yeah. What do we do? So the last game I just watched before this, we went on air here. I watched the whole Spurs game. And it was interesting, they pull out a 1-0 win. Son scores again. He's world class. I mean, that guy's world class. It was 0-0. Burnley aren't very good. It's Sean Dyche is such a defensive guy. Like I said, Burnley sucks. But I really thought this was going to be a 0-0 result. That was a good win for Mourinho. 1-0. He grinding it out. Wasn't pouring people forward. They have such good offensive firepower, Spurs. So that was a good win for him. That was a good one for Jose.
They're a point out of 4th place. I mean,
no, he wants clean sheets. That's his thing, Yeah. And I keep saying he hasn't been getting them. So I don't know. What an interesting season. This is fun. I kind of like it.
I needed that Manchester United Chelsea match to be good though. I feel like there wasn't a good match this weekend. I don't feel like there was anything where I was like. Usually,
even Liverpool, I was a little like. I was happy with the win, but it wasn't a great game.
No, it really wasn't. Before we get to the Champions League, what are you looking forward to next weekend?
Well, Liverpool, West Ham. I mean, that could be. What do you have games in front of me? I don't have them in front of me right now, but I know Liverpool, West Ham. I'm excited about just because it's Liverpool, as you know. But I just want to see some momentum with this team. I feel like they put 3 wins together, something like that. They could put some distance. Oh, yeah. I know, so I want to see I want them to get on a roll. So that's a big game for me. I'm excited about.
I mean, we've got Everton.
They're going to want to rebound, man. You might, I could see that a 3-0 Everton win. I could.
No, you want to know what's funny? I could see a 3-0 either way. I could see them totally collapse.
I think Ancelotti's going to let them lose again.
No, I think we're going to get destroyed. No, but I'm telling you, it's that fluky season.
Okay, all right.
I got nothing on that, man. I have no idea. I mean, Chelsea.
I just want to see Pulisic play more with Chelsea. I just want to see him play, and Lampard just leave him alone.
Chelsea have Burnley, so that should be good. We want Pulisic to get in there and pat some stats. I think that's Manchester United Arsenal.
I mean, it's a big game from like 20 years ago, like Wenger versus Ferguson. But I mean,
what about Leeds?
I mean, Leeds. Look, they beat. What did they beat? Villa this weekend. Leeds are fun.
Okay, Leeds Leicester on Monday, but it's Monday, man. Why?
I know. Well, I'm not working, so I'll have time to watch that. I have plenty of time.
What about
Leeds? I think Leeds could push for top 6. Top 6, maybe.
Absolutely.
They're fun to watch. Oh, you want to talk some Champions League before we get to the crew? Want to do that real quick? All right, what do you got?
We had so many Americans.
Yep.
That were in. I want to say, the Club Brugge story. With our American keeper. He went and was their main guy, and then Filet Mignolet from Liverpool goes back and basically he rides the pine for like 2 years, and to get in, Filet gets hurt, and he gets in, gives up an own goal, but then
it's Harvath, right?
Yeah,
Ethan Harvath, yeah,
right,
yeah,
from Colorado, I think.
Yeah.
But remember, had lots of jokes about Matt Turner and his wide-legged stance and how he's better than Zach Steffen. But then you see this kid fights it out and actually wins his team, basically because he had all these saves and they score at the end. I mean, he was in tears at the end of the match. And
Look, he's been on the U.S. men's national team. He's gotten a couple call-ups. I mean, he's on the radar.
Right. And so Turner, hey, continue to enjoy New England Revolution because Zach Steffen will be battling it out with him, not with
Oh,
you.
I agree. And forget Guzan. Forget Guzan.
Yeah.
You can take Guzan like third string if you want, but no, forget.
So anyway, that to me was a beautiful thing. The Chelsea match,
Yeah.
0-0 again. Pulisic didn't.
I mean, he played.
Manchester United beating PSG. That was the shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, nobody saw that coming.
No.
Right? Nobody saw that coming.
Salzburg screwed the pooch. I felt bad for Jesse Marsch because he had it and they gave up a late goal.
But that was a draw, right? I thought that was a draw.
Yeah, I know, but he had to win. And in that group, those are the matches you have to win or against the other weak team. The other not favored team. So Real Madrid getting done 3-2 by Shakhtar Donetsk's B team.
I think it was 2-0. It was 3-0 at the half.
Right, but they had, I think, 9 players of their starting players that weren't able to play because of COVID or something like that. So I'm not even joking, they played their B team, and Real Madrid got played off the park by Shakhtar Donetsk.
I watched about 5 minutes of that game towards the end of the first half. I was Shakhtar. I mean, that was incredible. I couldn't believe that result. They were walking off the field stunned, Real Madrid players. Incredible.
Yeah, you guys looked like pure crap against Ajax.
The weird thing about that game was we looked horrible. I think we got an own goal, I think. Yeah, it was such a long time ago. We just needed to grind out a win, and that's what we did. But it's 3 points. It's 3 points.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It was just cool. I think we had 5 Americans that played on one day in the Champions League.
It was incredible. Tyler Adams, what he played. It was incredible.
Love to see it, man. So I was just I had to make sure we rounded that.
Oh, definitely.
It feels like 10 years ago that happened.
It does, I know, man. I spaced out on it. All right, let's move on to our crew for a second, Columbus crew. Look, we got Nagby back. We got Eloy Room, our goalie, who's so good. And then Zellaran came back. He played the last 45 minutes. So we had Nagby and Room in our starting lineup. I don't think you watched this. Did you watch some of this game? It was horrible.
I was watching the Newcastle game.
All right.
I
don't know which was worse.
No, you and Matt were watching the crew game.
Look, they played down in Houston, and the field was like a cow pasture. Patchy. I mean, big chunks of the field missing. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, nobody else is playing on this thing. I don't know what they're doing. So the play was a little choppy. Pedro Santos had a great game, but he missed a ton of shots. It was very strange. So, I mean, look, we got a draw. Did you even know? Hey, ask you anything, Tom. Christian Nemeth? You know who that is?
No.
He started at striker for us.
Who?
I didn't know we signed him.
From where?
He's played in Europe, and he played with, I think, Chicago. But he's got a European pedigree. But when I saw him, he's number 29, and he started because Zardes was injured. I was like, when did we get him? So, Nemeth, he looked okay. But Zardes being out,
Is it Joe Nemeth?
Joe Nemeth. He guaranteed the draw.
Right, exactly. He wore the pantyhose commercial.
So it was a slow game, slow tempo. When MLS is slow, it is slow.
Right.
So, look, we're on 35 points. We're only 6 points behind Philly and Toronto, and we have a game in hand. So we have 3 games left. So we can get 9 points. We have 4 games left. They have 3 games left. We can overtake them. It doesn't mean anything because there's no supporter shield. And it's not community shield, by the way, it's supporter shield.
I think they're in debate over bringing it back, though. There's been oh my gosh, there's been a huge hullabaloo. I told you Morgan Hughes, the Save the Crew guy, going like on and on. But I got into it with the leader of that group that somehow self-appointed themselves as the rulers of the supporter shield and canceled it, who were basically taking shots at Columbus. And it was the same kind of thing where disparaging Columbus and his supporters, and they're being like, well, what makes you think if after we stopped an owner from stealing our team that we're going to let this kind of shit go? Like, no way.
By the way, ESPN FC, they have the power rankings and MLS. The Crew were like number 1 or 2 the whole season. You know where they are now? 10. 10.
I mean,
I don't know. You agree with that?
Having watched them the last.
I mean, they're in third place in the East, though. I mean, 10?
Well, okay. I think power rankings are fucking
Stupid
to begin with, because here's the power ranking. Whatever place you're in, that's your ranking.
Exactly.
That's how many points you got. Like, I don't understand the idea of like, ooh, this week you're hot. Now, in a
They should be third.
In a system that has playoffs, it
And
matters.
two conferences.
It matters differently, because when you get to the playoffs, you could have been on like a 12-game winning streak and then lost your last game and could be knocked out. I get it, but it's just, I don't know. I don't put too much stock in it. But 10? Really?
Look, New England is like ahead of them in the power rankings, but behind them in the standings. So what's the point of the standings?
It's because of Matt Turner and his wide-legged skills.
He's so good. All right, let me go over some European, run around Europe here. Our boy, Serginho Dest, played 90 minutes in the El Clasico. I was pretty proud. Now, we talk about him being more Dutch than American, but whatever.
Beautiful.
Pretty amazing. And he got an 8 out of 10 ranking. They said he was one of the best players on Barcelona. Pretty impressive, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Did you see in the El Clasico that Real Madrid won 3-1? Did you see Ramos get pulled down in the box? Did you see that?
No.
So he goes up, he's in the box, and the Barcelona defender pulls him back. But Ramos goes down, but he's kind of gets pulled, but he falls the wrong way. And they call the penalty. So my question to you, Eric Neal, is he was getting, his jersey is no doubt getting pulled, but he didn't go down from it. He kind of threw himself down. But isn't it a penalty no matter what, even if he embellished it? If you've got a handful of jersey and you're pulling on them, it's a penalty, right?
I mean, yes.
That's what Steve Nichols said on ESPN FC. He said, it's a penalty. Whether he embellished, whether he fell down the wrong way, he was getting pulled. I'm like, it's a penalty. But Messi and Barcelona went nuts over that. Nuts over that. I don't know. Real quick.
I can't be bothered with La Liga.
It's just the El Clasico, the biggest derby match, rivalry in all the world, but you can't be bothered, huh? And one last thing, Zlatan, still scoring. Scored for AC Milan today. This guy is amazing. Well, he's a freak of nature, just like you.
Absolutely.
All right, Eric Neal, let's get off my lawn time. I've got some quickies here since we took 3 hours to do the last section. Did you see this quote from your boy Pep, who you love so much? Pep says, club couldn't afford striker in the summer. He's making excuses for this oil-rich club. I mean, Klopp, well, forget Klopp. Chelsea, these type of ridiculous clubs should never say we couldn't afford something.
Yeah.
Pep, what are you talking about? Here, let me give you his quote. Let's see here. It's not let me look at my notes here, man. He says, if you decide to buy a striker, it has to be a striker in the league of Gabriel and Sergio, but we cannot afford it. That is the reality.
Look, Sheikh Mansour must be skint these days.
What do you mean you could afford it? So obviously, okay, you don't want to spend $15 million on a striker because that's pointless. But what do they say? Oh, we need a Sergio Aguero level, and that's like $100 million. We can't afford that. Yeah, you can.
Sure you can.
You can definitely afford that. Oh, gee. You know what, Pep? And for Pep saying it, even if it's the truth, don't say that. It makes you look like an idiot. So, Pep, get off my lawn.
Yeah, that's too much. My Gomel this week goes to Sky and the Premier League.
Oh.
So you heard from last week's conversation about how they're charging £15 per match for pay-per-view over there. And there's been quite a ruckus. The Geordies raised tens of thousands of pounds for the local food bank in a drive to use the money for that and boycott the Premier League pay-per-view. Other clubs joined in and their supporters did the same thing. Beautiful stuff happening all over the place. I mean, it just good to see. I forget the number. It was like in like the dozens of people downloaded that, like, what was it, like West Brom or one of these like crappy matches. And so they've gone and they've noticed the error of their ways, and they've decided that, you know, 15 pounds just too much, and they're going to do something about it. They're talking about lowering it to 10 pounds. So I don't know if all of a sudden people go 15.
Oh,
You know what? That was obscene. But 10, I'm starting to.
Why not $9.99? They should have done $9.99.
Yeah, right, there you go. Yeah, we'll take a pence off. I don't understand. Like, what's the plan? Are you going to keep lowering until people go, nah, that's the sweet spot? And even then, I mean, maybe you should do something per match where you go, okay, Chelsea, Manchester United, that's going to be 25 pounds, because that like seems like it's going to be a good match. Now you still might like crap out and get
Fulham West Brom is $1.99.
£1.50.
Yeah, okay, £1.50.
Right?
Yeah.
So depending on what team and who they're playing, there's a formula, maybe like a power ranking, that figures out like what is this match worth.
How much is Newcastle worth, like versus like Fulham?
They should pay you £10 for watching that. It's terrible. Right. So I just sit here and I think, who are these geniuses that come up with these decisions? It's like they have to be so insulated and so like just like sequestered off from the rest of the world, because they don't think about any of the backlash. Like right now, people, because of the COVID fatigue, because of all the things that are happening in the world, because of, I mean, all this stuff, people's nerves are shot and they're real twitchy about anything going on that's going to piss them off, and they jump right on social media and just flame you to death. You can't think that they were like, all of a sudden, hey, we'll knock 5 pounds off it, and all of a sudden everything's good. It was a shitty plan to begin with. What you really ought to do to keep your supporters interested is just put all of the games on the regular Sky subscription that you have.
That people are already paying for.
80 or 100 pounds a month or whatever it is for. And just give them the matches for free so that they have something to do, and they think, well, these guys actually respect us. But instead, they're like, well, we'll put the one match on, and now you can pay 10 instead of 5.
Don't you think this is a money grab, though, in that, look, more people are at home watching these games. Those 50,000, 70,000 people in the stands, they're at home watching the game, so let's, like, charge them.
Well, no, and here's the thing. You can't, no matter how much money you have, go to see the match live.
Right.
They're not having spectators in. So you're held ransom. So, I mean, it's just a terrible look. So, Sky, Premier League, lowering your money by £5. Get off my lawn.
All right, Eric Neal, I'm going to ask you something. It's Newcastle-based. I know we probably already lost our audience when you talked about Newcastle earlier. As I watch Miguel Almiron, one of my favorite players in MLS. I love the way he played. He won a championship with Atlanta United. He got a big money move to Newcastle. I was excited to watch him play every week. Struggled a little at the beginning, scoring goals, getting assists, but it seems like Newcastle supporters really like him. He was making a lot of money in Atlanta, actually, so I'm sure he's making more in the Premier League, but I don't think it's a huge gap. So there is a question in this. I'm not seeing Almiron that much because he's playing on the bench a lot. Do you think Almiron is better off, or would have been better off, staying in MLS, hold on a second, where he won a championship, he's big man on campus, he was a star in this league, he's one of the best players in this league, he was on a decent wages, I mean, close to like Premier League wages with Atlanta. He plays every game, he knows he's going to play every game, he can be a stud in that town, Atlanta. Or should he have stayed there? Or should he have done what he did and go to Newcastle, where he's on a bad team, a bad coach that doesn't understand how to play him. His wages are a little better. He's not a penciled-in starter every week. I ask you, Eric Neal, take off your Newcastle hat. Just look at Miguel Almiron. Should he have stayed at Atlanta United?
I'm going to do the quick and the long answer. No. Okay. He should not have stayed at Atlanta United.
Okay.
You can always go back to MLS, especially if you've been in the Premier League. That only makes you more attractive to go to MLS. And he's done well over there. And I think anybody who watches it closely enough, including other teams in Europe, that would happily take him. He wouldn't have to go back to MLS. He could go play in Spain. He could go play in Italy. He could go play in France or Germany. No problem. He's good enough to play in any of those leagues. But
not at the top teams.
No, well, probably not at the top teams. That's fine. But he's gone over, and I always say you want to push yourself as far as you can push yourself. Now, he'll get to go the rest of his life and say he scored a goal in the English Premier League.
But you're looking at it through your eyes, Eric. You're not looking through his eyes.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Happy. He doesn't look happy.
But look.
Happiness is important.
Happiness is important, but not knowing like what you could have done, if you're a competitor, and anyone that's made it to that level is a competitor, you want to push it as far as you can. I don't think now a lot of people have been asking this question online, talking about it, trying to see what they, wow, is he finished at Newcastle, all this. I don't buy any of that. I think he's perfectly fine.
It's Bruce.
It's Bruce, and like you said, players outlast managers. I think he was one of our best players when we played this weekend. I mean, he was all over the place.
Tracking back, but that's not who he is.
No, but you know what? That's the kind of guy that any manager wants.
Oh, I agree. I love him.
He hasn't gone there and failed to the point where he's ruined his career. His career is being ruined by the cabbage, but it's not due to him.
I 100% agree with you. My point is, if you're in Almiron's shoes, and forget, you have this whole thing about you got to go test yourself in Europe, and I get it, and he wanted to do that, and he's doing fine. My point is, if you're sitting in dark Newcastle, or fighting for relegation, maybe you get 14th, 15th. You're not going to win any trophies. Even with a great coach, probably not going to win a lot of trophies, if any. You're on good wages, okay? Okay, you're going to wait it out for Bruce to get to be gone, or you're going to get transferred. Are you happy? When he looked happy at Atlanta.
I think he looked happy at Newcastle until this season when Bruce started off not playing him. Then he got injured on international duty. And I think this is really a bunch about nothing. And 3 weeks from now, he's going to be starting every match.
Think so. All right, I'm going to hold you to that, man. We'll see if he starts. Because I think this is Bruce coming up with some dumb idea that he's got better players in better positions. And Almiron will spot start him and have him come off the bench. And that guy is a penciled-in starter every week for me.
Oh, you kidding me? Absolutely.
All right, I have your answer. I'll take it for now.
All right. I came across this tweet, and it made me think this is going to be a perfect Ask You Anything.
Oh, please.
How many of the 1, 2, 3, 4, what is this? 4, 8, so 13 MLS Cup winners can you name?
I think I can name them all.
Okay.
You think I can?
Let's go.
I'll do it in alphabetical order even. No, I can't do that. Chicago Fire.
Okay.
LA Galaxy.
Yep.
Atlanta United.
Yep.
DC United.
Yep.
Columbus Crew.
Yep.
Houston Dynamo.
Houston Dynamo. Yep.
Right? Now, wait. A team moved to San Jose, the Earthquake. That's the Dynamo. Wait, hold on a second.
No, you got Quakes. You got Dynamo and Quakes.
Dynamo and Quakes. Okay. You've got Seattle.
Yep.
You've got Portland.
Yep.
You got Real Salt Lake.
Yep.
You got Sporting KC.
Yep. You got one left.
Toronto.
Oh wait, there were 2 left.
Toronto. Hold on, Toronto. Yep. And I'm missing one.
Yep.
Hold on.
It's one I would never get.
Colorado.
You got it.
Thank you.
Holy crap.
Drop the mic. Let's move on.
No, I'm telling you, you could have given me like 10 years. Google it. Like, there's no way I could remember all that.
No. I just know it. I know it. Yeah.
No, apparently you do. Or how about this? Who's won the most MLS Cups?
Galaxy, then DC United.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Nice one.
Bam. All right, Eric, Belland Award time. You actually gave me this Belland. I like when you give me a Belland. Whatever that means. That sounds raunchy. I don't know. You told me about Wan-Bissaka. We're not crossing swords, are we?
No.
You told me about this, so I want to read about Wan-Bissaka. You know, great defender for Manchester United, and he seems
Wide
to,
tackle merchant.
yeah, you know. So here, let me read this to you. Manchester United star. Did you? First of all, here's a ask anything bonus. What's his first name?
Aaron.
Oh, nice. I thought it was Juan. Wan-Bissaka. All right, Manchester United star Aaron Wan-Bissaka's girlfriend has dumped him after he reportedly fathered a love child with another woman. That's okay. That happens all the time for these players, right?
Sure.
The footballer, 22, has been accused of cheating on Rihanna Bentley, 21, with a U.S. model once linked to his teammate, Jesse Lingard, after allegedly getting a third lover pregnant. There's a third person. Yeah. Miss Bentley ended her 3-year relationship with Wan-Bissaka, confessed to having an intimate relationship with the defender on Monday. Okay, so, yeah, pregnant, cheating, there's a teammate involved. What a bellend! What a guy! Why can't these guys just chill out with this stuff?
Look, two things here.
You wouldn't have done this.
Number one, you were a famous athlete that played for, I would argue, one of the most recognizable clubs of any sport in the world. You can go to villages in Africa that don't have electricity and see people with Manchester United jerseys on. Like this is a worldwide thing. There is no shortage of women who are looking to be near a famous person and an athlete.
Right.
You gotta go for your teammate? Like you gotta go for why? How lazy do you have to be like, I would get off my couch, but there's Lingard's girlfriend over there and I could just do that. Like I don't. So that has never ever been a thing. No. The cheating thing, I despise it. I mean, look, here's the deal. Just don't get with anybody. Yeah. If you know you're going to be famous and you're doing all this stuff, guess what? Just be single.
And we're Jimmy. We're a Jimmy.
That's number three. But look, here's the deal. Say I'm going to be single while I'm a player, and I'm going to go hook up with all the Instagram models that are like knocking down my door, and it's going to be great. And then there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
There's no judgment there. But why are you getting people pregnant and knocking them up and then being like, oh, I'm with you, and then cheating on them?
You have a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend. You're cheating. You got you're somebody pregnant.
Wrap it up, kids.
You just wrap it up with some tinfoil.
Science has given us a solution to this problem. You do not need to walk around raw dogging everything that moves and knocking people up left and right. It's no good. Stop it.
They've been to the drugstore. There's a whole row of stuff. You want it thick, you want it thin, you want it ribbed, you want it tasty, whatever you want.
It's come on.
Don't go wrong. All right.
Maybe they don't teach that stuff in the school.
Wan-Bissaka, you're my Bellend Award winner, my man.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
Yep.
This week's Bellend Award winner for me are all of the MPs in Parliament that are not only not supporting the great work that Marcus Rashford is doing, but calling him out and challenging him and saying it's not anyone's responsibility. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you haven't heard, but Marcus Rashford has been spending all of his free time trying to make sure that school children in England are basically fed and not go hungry over their winter break that they have.
They rely on schools to get their food, right?
Very much like they have in the United States. There are millions, I'm sure, of school children that the only reliable source of food that they have is the food that they get at school. So basically, he went and started trying to get signatures and requests to get the government to just fund the kids to be able to eat during this break.
Wouldn't cost much. Come on.
Yeah, but it's blown up bigger than that. Now he's got corporations, he's got famous people. Everyone's pitching in to sort the problem out themselves. But you've got these MPs, and basically it's the classic conservative kind of messaging of, oh, well, if we give them, then the parents are just going to squander it anyway, and they have money to buy cigarettes and alcohol, so they should be able to buy food. And here's the thing. A lot of these things might be true, but that doesn't have a damn thing to do with the hungry kids. Feed the kids. It is not that hard. Marcus Rashford, I'm not a huge Manchester United person. I've just never liked it, whatever. This guy deserves a knighthood. This guy deserves the Nobel Peace Prize because he's young and he could be out there doing the Wan-Bissaka, knocking up anything that moves. And instead, he's actually spending his time trying to help people who are less fortunate than him. So,
and you know what? Rashford is one of those guys who relied on all those meals.
yeah.
You know, when he was growing up poor.
And he's not forgetting where he came from, and he's using his fame to do something good. And then you got these guys, Parliament people, who are completely disconnected, who not only just aren't helping, but they're out there talking shit too. So all of you fools, anyone involved that is not supporting Marcus Rashford, you're all my Bellend Award winners. All right, it's time for this week's Twitter shout-outs. As always, a huge thank you to our man on the streets of Newcastle, Andrew Wells. He's at Wellsy95, NUFC. If you see him out there and he's asking questions for us, be kind. Don't beat the guy up over our questions. We just want to know what's going on over there. Also, a giant thank you to @RealUSMNT. This account posts everything you need to know about the U.S. men's national team. They retweet us all week, every week, and we appreciate it. It really helps out. Shoot the Defense podcast, they're at Shoot the Defense. The Ball Chat podcast, they're at Ball Chat 1. And the Bryant and Me podcast, they're at Bryant and Me. Thanks for all the retweets when we were promoting the pod each week. We really appreciate it. Also, check out You Know the Score. That's also another one of our great podcasts. Shingy does a great job over there. Make sure you check them out. A few things I saw this week that I liked. You're going to love this because it's a Manchester United heavy. Pogba Sr. at the Salt is here. Always got good stuff. Guys, Pep ain't finished. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest ever, man. Just give him another $50 million to spunk on a CB. Bald bastard. You spent more on defense than North Korea and are getting dunked on by the striker version of Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
It's true.
Yeah. And then this is about that Chelsea match, Pogba Sr. again. We got away with that. Maguire's headlocking Aspilicueta as if he's a Greek police officer.
Yeah.
Those are two very, very high quality.
Maguire's in trouble in Greece, man. That could be a real thing, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no good. Tom M., he's at MENTORRED. This is great. This was about the crew match because we've been having a lot of problems with people who don't subscribe to cable anymore, who can't watch the damn crew games when they're on.
Me? How about me?
Right. How about you? So I guess the game was so bad that Tom said, my timeline is full of half the people I know complaining they can't see the crew game and the other half complaining they can see the crew game.
It's true. It's true.
That was beautiful. I think that summed it up perfectly. Football Bible, they're at Football Bible. Jurgen Klopp on Marcus Rashford. I don't know him personally, but his mother can be proud of him. At a time when politicians are not making the right decisions, it's wonderful to see what Rashford is doing. Respect. So good on Klopp there.
Oh, I thought there was a punchline. I thought there was a dig at Liverpool.
No dig. Just
Klopp is class. I think you like Klopp deep down, right behind Guardiola.
I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give that to him. Footy accumulators are at Footy ACCUMS. On Sunday, Dutch club Heverveen filled their stadium with 15,000 teddy bears. Each bear represented a child affected by cancer in the country. They were all sold within 24 hours. They managed to raise over 230,000 euros for local.
Respect.
Love to see it. So good one there. I tried to leave it positive at the end of this one.
Yeah, this is good stuff, man. Usually it's very lowbrow with you, but this was a big deal for you, man.
Look, I'm maturing.
Yeah. Hey, kudos to Aiden, man. That kid is going to be good. He's much better than his dad.
Shout out to Tyler, Matt's son. Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler and Aiden, man. They're much better than their dads. So good to see you, my friend.
You too.
All right, take care.
See you.
That's our show for this week. Please check us out on Twitter at @Rash_podcast, on Facebook at 2Rash Challenges, or email us at 2rashchallenges@gmail.com. Also check out our website, 2rashchallenges.com, where you can find articles, videos, and photos. And if you like the show, tell a friend and make sure you go to iTunes and give us a review. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, for Eric, our producer and engineer Ezra Jack Lewis, our main man on the streets, Andrew Wells, and myself, we say cheers.